2.0 is finally out, and so thanks to this comment, we're going to be doing a Shaolin. The class got pretty heavily reworked in 2.0, as it now uses robes instead of armour. This makes the class less good in terms of straight blunt force damage, but it should give it more interesting synergies. But let's think about that later. For now, we're killing the giant gloop. In this video, I'm going to try and get as many of the new usable drops as I possibly can. To the best of my knowledge, the giant gloop has one new drop, and that is an agility skill. The boss fights have, for the most part, been fairly heavily reworked, so they will take some getting used to. This is the new Overlord system in 2.0. Realms no longer seal, but gates spawn up in T3 areas which you have to break, and then you can access the Overlords. A good system in my opinion, as your farming no longer gets disrupted. Speaking of farming, we are currently doing so in hopes of a pair of tabby dropped by the Shroom Conglomerate. Although this also works incredibly nicely. These shrines are the new blessing system. Bosses no longer drop them. Instead you use the souls of the fallen to gamble. On to the stone giant, who still does drop the same stone taco as in the last version, but who also, I'm pretty sure, drops a support ability. Don't take my word for it though, as I have never seen it in person. Something that I have seen in person is the Chancellor's Cloak, which drops from, can you guess, the Dokai Chancellor. Free my boy Khan, he didn't do nothing. Rabbit is now pretty useless, but when paired with Bull, it takes on a whole new vesture, as now anytime you use your boots, you get Speedy 2 for a bit, which it already did, but you also deal 150 damage and do some armor break. It's a very fun combo. It feels quite strange actually having a legitimate reason to kill the Warring Ox on Shaolin, but the barbaric straps are very useful. No drop this time, however. Due to the blessings themselves being different, I would now consider Dragon and Mantis to be requisite, and a Yak not to be. Coming to think of it, Mantis is actually better than Dragon now, as it actively doubles the damage of one attack. Gems no longer charge blessings, they are now used in this. These are the Paths of Fate, I'm pretty sure they're called. I've been calling them the Crystal Tree, and it is now what gives you all of your base stats. You now start with 0 base defense, but if you put in some defense crystals, you get some more. It's one of my favourite parts about 2.0, as it gives each character a unique playstyle, I guess. You can build them to be whatever you want them to be. It also means that blessings aren't the only way of customizing your character now. Blessings like Ram, Tiger and Monkey now give you an extra charge on whatever thing they affect instead of reducing the cooldown. This means that you can have things like double boots or double slime bounces, which I think is just the funnest thing. Gushner and the Hill Giant Shaman are both killed for some slightly better loot. I'll go over them in more detail later. When recording this, I had no idea how the crystal paths actually worked. so if you haven't played the new update yet, then you'll be figuring them out alongside me. I said in my last video that I didn't like the Akuji fight, however, the Akuji can now drop some robes, and as they're a new usable drop, of course I'm going to try and get them. First try is amazing, now I don't have to fight him as much. They're fairly unlike anything else I've seen in the game so far. The closest thing I can think of are the Sand Shroud Tabby. This is our good old chum Gushner. He's the new boss this update and he drops his own plethora of things. Folks, we can be bold. This is the best update they have ever added. Look at how stunning I look, oh my goodness. We are of course immediately storing this hat. That was the best use of 250 medallions that there has ever been. Let's get back to farming, shall we? We don't actually need Gushner anymore, but he's fun, so we may as well kill him again. Correction, we do need him because we need his gems in the crystal tree. I am bored of farming the stone giant, let's go and kill Gushner. If you look very closely, you might just be able to make out that the layout of Gushner's temple has changed. Gushner will now move somewhat freely instead of just back and forth in the same temple. In my opinion, this fight has gone from one of the worst in the game to instantly possibly the best in the game. I like how you have to play with and around all of the hazards, and I like how it no longer feels incredibly cramped. Also, Gushner raises you up in the air now. The fight feels so immersive now, I like it. That's all I'm saying really. I always forget how much sheer mobility this class is, so we don't really need Monkey. Blessings altered. Get it? Because it's like an altar where you equip blessings. Never mind. We're back to Gushner. Ooh, a mysterious head. How mysterious. Lots of little mysterious heads around the big mysterious head. How mysterious to the power of, like, 9. This is now one of the best fights in the game, sheerly because of the tiny little heads. They're just so cute and funny. They also drop as a pet, so if you have one of those and are in the market to sell it, I will pay handsomely for it. I then spent a very long time farming Gushner for the Rashaka Tekos. Here are some of the highlights. These, as with all weapons, have been updated. Apart from this time, they've just turned it into a flamethrower. Methinks time to get rid of this old hat. Let's go bald again. Here's what they do. We then went back to the tier 1 farming. These guys really don't stand much of a chance against our flamethrowers. That is not the thing that we want. Nor is that. 3 for 3. Fairly bad luck right now. Let's get a rucksack. I'm tired of not having any inventory space. Also one of the best parts about 2.0. It is the one that we can actually use. Hooray! It's basically just Yoku Garb, but worse. Back to back. This is very good. We now have possibly the fastest attack speed that we can get for a while, and we are melting through these bosses. A lot of rares in quick succession there, but these gauntlets aren't as good as the Rashakas. Back to big bad boggers because I'm bored. Now the first tier 3 boss of the video. This is Grugmant and Vikaminchi, or the twins as they're known. They're fairly difficult, so we're going to have to be careful. Unfortunately, we weren't careful enough, but death always leads to a new end. This was my first character of 2.0. It didn't go too well, in all honesty, but oh well. That's just what happens in this game. It is very punishing. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Who knows what will happen next.